Hello bakers and bakerettes, how are you today? I hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday as I am. Besides the heat, it's been a wonderful day. I don't know which one I want to trade off, the heat or the rain, because here lately, they both have kind of been a little bit over the top. Alright, but you know, at least we're on the opposite end, we're on top of the ground, so we should be grateful, right? Right. Alright, so we're going to take what the Lord gives us. Alright, with that being said, today I'm going to prepare some Australian lemon or lemonade scones, and this is a 3-ingredient recipe. Now, in Australia, they use what we call self-raising, RAISING flour, which is flour that has just baking soda. It doesn't have any salt in it. In America, we use self-rising flour, and the self-rising flour here contains baking powder, and salt. I'm going to do the Australian version, except I'm not going to use bought self-rising flour or self-raising flour, as they call it in Australia. I took some white lily all-purpose flour, and I added, and it's actually 4 cups, and I have 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and I mixed it and I whisked together, and then I of course sifted it. Okay, so now everything's incorporated. I don't cook with salt anyway, so for me to use the Australian version is perfectly fine. However, if you would like to bake these, you may use the American version of the self-rising flour, which contains the salt and the baking powder. Is perfectly fine, or you can do what I'm doing. It works out great either way. A lot of times people say the salt adds more flavor to them, which is a personal preference, right? So with that being said, I've already pre-measured everything. I measured 4 cups of white lily all-purpose flour, added 2 tablespoons of baking powder, whisked it in, and then sifted the ingredients. I pulled out a 1/2 cup of the flour mix, because once I knead it, I'm going to need some flour. So you pull out a 1/2 cup for your knead, right? Now, I've already took the zest of 1 lemon, and this is actually optional. If you don't want to use the zest, you don't have to. You can use 7-Up, you can use Sprite, you can use the lemon juice, you can use the Italian lemon lime soda. You can use just about any lemon lime soda as long as it's made with carbonated water. That's perfectly fine. They give it the name lemon because of that. But you can also add the zest of the lemon, and you can also use lemonade, and you can add very well so use the lemon juice from the lemon to make a glaze to go on the top of it, which is what I'm going to do. And they're still considered to be the lemon scones. Okay? Now, so when you zest the lemon, you make sure that you pull down, but you twist or turn the lemon as you're zesting it, because you just want the zest. You want the skin off the top. You don't want any of the white that's on here. So make sure that you're turning your lemon as you zest it for any citrus fruit, lemon, lime, orange. Make sure you twist it or turn as you zest. Whichever direction that you want to rotate the lemon in, make sure you're zesting. Okay, just the top. All right. Now, with that being said, what you want to mix first is that you want to take your 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and 1 cup of Sprite. These are your first 2 ingredients that you're going to mix in. Okay, you're going to mix these together and make sure that they are very well mixed. Then you're going to incorporate your flour into the mix, because remember, this is just a 3-ingredient mix unless you add the zest of the lemon, and you can contribute that as the 4th ingredient. All right, so we need 1 cup of the heavy whipping cream, and then also take out 2 tablespoons of the heavy whipping cream and save it, because you're going to need that when you brush your scones right before you put them in the oven. Next, you're going to need 1 cup of Sprite, kind of let the bubbles settle and make sure that I have the 1 cup. So that's 1 cup of Sprite, and of course you can drink the rest of it, or you can make a second batch, whichever you prefer. And I just take my little wooden spoon and I'm going to kind of fold these in. So now I'm going to take my hand mixer and I'm going to whisk this. This is your Sprite with your heavy whipping cream. I'm just going to whisk it, and then I'm going to incorporate the flour. So I'm going to place you on a brief pause while I whip this. All right, guys. All right. So I whisk it until everything is evenly mixed. So you're going to get a fluffy mixture, all right? So now I'm going to add the zest of 1 lemon, and that comes out to be roughly about 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. And remember, this is optional. If you would like to omit it, you may. I like to add it because it does add a little bit more lemony flavor to it. And of course, I like lemon, so. All right. We're going to whisk these in. So again, what you're doing is you're just mixing it up until the Sprite and the heavy whipping cream becomes evenly mixed. It becomes kind of frothy is what it looks like. So now you're ready to add your flour, right? So I've already measured out the flour in my measuring cup. So I'm just going to fold the flour in. And I'm not going to do all of it at one time. I'm going to do a little bit at a time. And I'm going to do it with just a wooden spoon. You don't have to whisk or blend this or mix it with your mixer. You can just take this and just simply fold it in. Because what you're creating now is going to be like dough. So with the Sprite and the heavy whipping cream, they're also the Sprite is also acting as a leavening ingredient so that they become light and fluffy. But you're going to create an actual dough. Just like if you were at making a pie crust or doing chicken and the dumplings for your chicken and dumplings, you're going to make a dough. So you just take your spatula, wooden spoon, or whatever you use, and you just kind of fold it in. See, this omits the step where you have to take the butter and you grate it, or you chop it into small pieces, and then you take your hand and you kind of squeeze it or mash it so that the flour and the butter becomes incorporated, kind of crumbly like. Of course, this recipe is no butter, no eggs. It's just simply the lemon soda, which is Sprite, heavy whipping cream, and of course the flour. And again, you can use self-rising flour. I don't. I use the all-purpose flour, and I just add the 2 tablespoons of baking powder to it. And of course, you can add 2 teaspoons of salt to it if you so desire. Because in Australia, remember, they use self-raising flour, not self-rising flour. In America, it's self-rising flour because they have the salt added to it. All right. So we now have our dough. All right. So the next thing you want to do is that you're going to sprinkle the half a cup of flour that you saved from earlier. You're going to sprinkle it on your wooden, I actually have a island that has the wooden top, which is actually my new baking station. And I'm just going to sprinkle this here on the surface, and you're going to knead it. Alright, I'll just spread this out. And then once you spread the flour out, and I did wash the container, and of course my hands are clean, I'm going to just simply release it from the mixing bowl onto the wooden top, or whatever you use to knead on. That's what you use. If you feel like you need to add a little more flour, you can do that by just simply adding 1/4 of a cup at a time. But remember, if you can do that quickly and easily if you use self-rising. But if you're doing it self-raising, of course, you're going to have to mix the flour with the baking powder before you actually do it. So this doesn't take long. It's, you just have to have patience. And you just knead it until it's smooth and creamy. That's all you're going to do. Kind of make a rectangular shape out of it. Okay? And that's all you do. You just knead it until you get everything mixed together, until it becomes kind of not really stiff, but you do want it to be smooth. Right? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to let it rest for roughly 5 minutes. Wash this off right quick. So I'm going to place you on a brief pause while it rests, and then we'll come back and we'll continue with the next step. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So I have kneaded it, I let it rest, and this is what it looks like. I actually did like a rectangular shape. Okay, and so now I'll do it to you this way. All right. So it's a rectangular shape about 1 inch thick. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. Right? And once you cut it in half, you then want to knead it out into 2 oval shapes. All right, and I do have a little extra flour here, so you want to just knead it and make sure it makes an oval shape about 1 inch thick. So you're going to have 2 of them. You're going to get about 12 scones out of this. All right. And you can always double the recipe if you want to make more. No problem. All right. Again, about 1 inch thick. If you want yours thicker than that, that's fine. If you want to make 4 large ones instead of 6 medium size, that's fine. However you would like to do it. There's no right or wrong way. Remember, I'm baking your day my way, and you can do the same thing. All right. And of course, you know, they look like triangles once you cut them. All right. And they don't have to be perfect ovals. They can be, they can have like little imperfections. All right. So, and that's what the two ovals look like. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these. And I'm going to make 6. I actually can get more than 6. And again, it depends on how large you would like them to be. That's a personal preference. Right. So then you want to take your baking pan, and I've already sprayed the baking pan and I've lined it with parchment paper. And then you're going to just simply pick these up and you're going to place them on your baking sheet. And again, there's no right or wrong way. It's like your preference as to how you would like to position them or how many you would like to place on the sheet. I usually put mine and I just kind of space them out. I usually get 6 on each one, but for this one, for some reason, and I use the same measurements, but you know, every time you do it, we cut them a little different. These may be cut just a little bit smaller than what I would usually cut them, which is fine. Right. So this is my first tray, which is ready for the oven. And of course you're gonna take the half and half. This is what they look like once you have them on your baking tray. Right. Then you're gonna take your 2 tablespoons of half and half that you set aside earlier, and you can just use a brush, any kind of brush that you have. If this is for the grill, it works fine. And you're just gonna brush the top of them with the the heavy whipping cream. You're just gonna brush it on the top. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to bake these on air fry. You bake them in your oven at 425. All right, so I have it set for 425. And we're going to bake these about 13 to 15 minutes. Remember, oven temperatures vary. So you may want to check these. After 10 minutes, I would say check them just to make sure that the temperature is correct and that they're done. And then, of course, if they're not, you leave them in for a little bit longer time. But the temperature is 425 degrees Fahrenheit. and that's for 13 to 15 minutes. No, it shouldn't take no longer than 15 minutes to bake them. Right? So I'll place you on a brief pause while these are being placed in the oven and baking. When it's time to bring them out, I'll pick you back up. So hang tight. Okay, everyone, I checked on our scones and they are not ready yet. I'm waiting for them to be like a light golden brown on the top. So while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and prepare the drizzle. And you guys have seen me prepare these before. It's like 1 cup of white confectioner's sugar. Just your regular powdered sugar. And you need 1 cup. And then you're going to need, and this is the lemon that I zest. So I'm going to take the fresh lemon juice, as I stated, and you're going to squeeze it into your tablespoon. So we'll start off with 1 tablespoon and we'll see how it goes. It's usually 1 to 2. But when you want to drizzle it, of course you don't want it to be too soupy. You still want it to cling to your scone. All right. So that's 1 tablespoon of our freshly squeezed lemon juice and 1 cup of powdered sugar. That's going to be a little too thick for me. So now I'm going to add another tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. But if you would like to use the 2 tablespoons of the Sprite, you can do that as well. Or whatever lemon soda that you use, you can do that as well. Right. And if you get it like a little too soupy, it's not, the consistency you want, just add a little bit more of your powdered sugar. If it seems like it's too thick, add a little bit more of whatever the liquid ingredient that you use. And 1 cup should be enough to just drizzle. You just want to drizzle to add a little more flavor to them. Okay, and that's the drizzle that I want. All right. So I use 1 cup of confectioner's sugar to 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And as always, I say when life throws you lemon, make lemonade, make a 7-Up or triple twist 7-Up pound cake, make some lemon scones, do everything lemon along with the lemon juice. Right? So there you have it. So we're going to wait on these to come out of the oven, and then we will drizzle them once they cool with the glaze. I'll pick you back up and when it's time to pull them out of the oven, so hold on. Okay guys, it's time to remove the scones from the oven. They are ready. And as you can see, they come out a beautiful golden brown. All right? And they make the triangle shape because that's the way I cut them. You can cut them with any kind of cookie cutter. And there you have whatever. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I think it was just a false alarm because there's no smoke or anything in here. But these are beautiful golden brown, as you can see. So I'm going to place these on the rack, and I'm going to allow them to cool. Shouldn't take long for them to cool. And then once they cool, I'm going to drizzle them with the glaze that I prepared. Right? I did prepare these in the oven. I used air fry at 425 degrees Fahrenheit instead of bake this time. Hopefully it wouldn't get as hot in here as if I was turning on my oven. And you get a more even bake with these as well. And with scones, I kind of like the air fry mode as opposed to the bake. Because I don't know, it just seems like they come out a little flakier. The texture to them is, they're not dry and crisp, kind of like on overbake. They come out perfect. Right? So I did bake them at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and it took exactly 13 minutes in my oven. But in your oven, again, adjust your temperature. And remember, If you do them smaller, it won't take long to bake. And if you do them a little less than an inch, if they're actually an inch and you do them, if you cut them into like fours or twos, however you do it, and of course you know that it's going to take a little bit longer for those to actually bake. All right. So again, this is the Australian lemonade or lemon scones. My recipe is a four ingredient recipe because I do use the lemon zest, and I do add a glaze to them, which is the lemon, fresh lemon juice from a freshly squeezed lemon. You can do these using an orange zest, using a grapefruit zest, using a lime zest, lime juice. You can use 7-Up, Sprite, any of the off-brand or we won't just say off-brand, but any of the lemon lime sodas, you can use those as well. I'm considering using my favorite drink, which is Mountain Dew, and to see if I can do one using the Mountain Dew. I'm sure they'll come out fine. The zest, again, is optional. You can use whatever it is you like. If you want to use all-purpose flour and make your own self-rising by adding the baking powder, which is 2 tablespoons for the 4 cups that I use, and optional, if you want to add salt, you can add 2 teaspoons of salt. Again, if you're doing it the Australian way, no salt is added because they use self-raising flour, which is just your all-purpose flour and your baking powder. However, the American self-rising flour is the one that contains the all-purpose flour with the self-rising, with the baking powder and the salt added into it. And yes, you can use the self-rising. If you want to use cake flour, you can use cake flour. You can use just about any of the flours that are out there for any of the bakes. And I say this all the time, but you know, it is true. I have tried it. When I first started trying to incorporate different things and eating healthier, I've used just about every flour that's out there. And they all work about the same. It's just what taste you will acquire, what taste you like, what you desire. And that's what you use. All right. So I think they should be cool enough by me just standing here talking to actually drizzle. And this is something that you can prepare and have for like breakfast if you want it, with a cup of coffee, a cup of hot tea, cold tea, hot coffee, cold coffee, cappuccinos, frappuccinos, whatever you desire. You can have these for breakfast, brunch, a snack after lunch, a snack after dinner, just a midday snack, just because. No special occasion or no reason necessary. Just because they're there, as I say. So we'll just drizzle this glaze on them. They're not completely cool. They're a little warm, but that's fine. I'm one of those type of people. I like things when it comes right out of the oven anyway. Cakes, pies. I'll even heat it. And now they take the pound cake and people like fry their pound cake. Of course, I have not done that. I like pound cake the way it is. I'm not trying to experiment on that end. But some people have been frying theirs. And I'm sure it's pretty good. I may try it one day. But they've been frying it, and they've been adding, like eating it with ice cream. I'm sure it's really good. It's kind of like the deep fried brownie. And then you have the vanilla ice cream, especially if it's Bluebell. Because nothing does a dessert like Bluebell. Right? And another way that you can modify these, which I have done, and it's a favorite as well, is that you can add fresh fruit to these. You can add like blueberries, fresh strawberries, blueberries, peaches, nectarine, raspberries, the black raspberries, any of the fruits, anything, whatever your favorite fruit is, you can add that. Just once you get your dough kneaded, or once you have everything, you just add it and fold it in. Right before you get ready to knead, you fold it in. And I would do it on my very last step, right before I was getting ready to cut them. when I kneaded it into my two, I would cut the first rectangle into two. Before I kneaded it out into two ovals is when I would add my fruit, because I wouldn't want to press down and mash them. I would just take them and like fold it over, pat it, fold it over, pat, fold over, and pat, and then just press it out into the oval shapes so that your fruit maintains its integrity, which is the shape that it has. Right? And you don't bust it open or mash it or press it down, like make it look like pureed. You want to have the actual fruit in the scone. Okay, so this is what the final product looks like, and of course I'm going to transfer these to a tray, a serving tray. All right, and now comes the taste. So this is what it looks like, and it's cooked on the bottom. Oh, it's got a little bit of the flour, but that's okay. It's still gonna be good. And then I'll break this one in half just so you can see how fluffy, light, fluffy, very, very moisty. If you press down, it's not like some people cook scones and they are like hard and they are crunchy, and you almost have to have something to drink to digest them. This one is not. These, as you can see, you can press down on it. They're very soft and very fluffy. All right. And so now I will taste this one for you. I would share it with you. Want a bite? Yeah. Very good. I really like adding the lemon zest, because it definitely gives it that lemon tang, that kick that it needs. Because a lot of times people don't like scones because they're not cooked right. They don't really have a taste that somebody will acquire. But these are really good. Next time I make them, I'll do the blueberries. I'll add them, and they'll be lemon blueberry scones. Yep. These are really good. All right. Well, that concludes today's epic bake. The Australian lemon or lemonade scones with the lemon glaze. Thank you guys for joining me on this bake. Again, on these hot summer days, this is something that can be easily prepared and prepped and in the oven and out in 15 to 20 minutes or less, depending on your oven and depending on your time of the knead and the fold and what all you're going to incorporate in yours. But no longer than 20, maybe we'll say 30 minutes. With the kneading, the pat, the fold, the cut, we'll just give it even 30 minutes. You can have this prepared, ready to serve. Okay, so thanks again for allowing me to enter into your space, and for you joining me in my space and allowing me to bake your day my way. I greatly appreciate you. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. If you're visiting, thanks for visiting, and I hope that you will decide to subscribe as well. Please don't forget to click the thumbs up, as that just pushes the videos out into the YouTube algorithm so that others can see it, and it just says that it's a good video and that you like it. It's something that will be worth watching. All right, so thanks again. You guys don't forget to leave a comment. If you prepare any of the recipes that I share, don't forget to take a picture of yours and your product, your final product, and post it in the comment, and leave a comment and tell us how you modified it. Tell us your thoughts, how it tastes, or if there's, if you have any suggestions for me, I'm open to suggestions. I'll try it, and we'll share back and forth. But just let us know how your bakes come out, and you can actually email it to Cassie's Kitchen Creations, and I will post it on our community page, which is where usually I post pictures of specific desserts, or if it's a cake for someone else, I'll take a picture of that cake. And I'll post it once they cut it, they'll send me a picture, and then I will post the inside on the community page. All right, so don't forget to leave a positive comment. Also, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. Be positive, pass positive vibes, share your positivity, because this world needs more respect, it needs more empathy, more sympathy, most importantly, respect. Inspire someone, enlighten someone, make somebody's day, be the better you, then they can be the better them, especially if there's someone that's disrespectful. And school is starting back. I know everybody's busy, but let's just try to continue to spread positive vibes, in hopes that it rubs off, and then the person that we're, or the people that we're around, it kind of rubs off on them, and they can go and they can continue to spread those positive vibes out throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and hopefully throughout the year. Have a great one, guys, and I will see you on the next prep, the next bake, possibly no bake. Who knows? I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be blessed.